All right, so got one of my clients here and a friend as well, Iain. He is just finishing up a 16-week program with me, and I just wanted to get him on a call to ask him a few questions and see what his experience was during this program. So how's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Good. Happy to be here. As always, good to see you.
Yeah. So just gonna ask you a few questions here. So tell me about where you were before you started this coaching program with me, Ian.
So I mean, I had a lot of personal experience and growth in the gym. Like I was pretty heavy when I was younger. I was always kind of trying to bounce around, find the new best trend or thing that was happening. And finally, I kind of just had I'd had enough with guessing and figuring it out on my own. So I need a little more structure, a little more, guidance in the right direction kind of thing. And so I was I think I was at 218 pounds, which was the heaviest I'd been in a while. Like I'd been hovering around 200, like mid 190s. And I just finished kind of like an own personal program, and then talking to some guy online with I just put on too much mass that I didn't want, essentially. Not to get too into it, but I wanted to lean down. I want to become stronger, faster, but still be able to, functionally move, more like a athletic training style more than on body weight training style. So then talking to you, you and saw what you were trying to do and make it a more personal approach and get that connection down. And I basically, talking to you and, filling out your form, and it looked like you and I were on the same page with what we wanted to accomplish. So then I came to you and I got coached for 4 months,
Nice, man. You went through the ringer with me.
yeah, exactly. And then I was just a little too heavy, and I wanted to get leaner, cut, and kind of brush up on my nutrition knowledge as well. I see what kind of foods I should be intaking and amounts and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's sweet, man. I love it.
yeah.
So yeah. So what were some, just getting deeper into what we actually did, what were some strategies that we implemented together?
Well, we started off with we were doing more of a lower weight, higher rep routine, getting more functional movement out of the body. Seeing where I think the beginning to couple weeks was just seeing where your body's at. Then we kind of figured out we were doing a warm-up, six workouts. You start off with 2 warm-up sets, work out for 4. We were doing that pretty consistently for 4 days out of the week. We figured out 4 days a week was good for me, being that my work schedule. We won't get into what I do for work.
It's all good.
My 4 days on working, you do chest and biceps, and the next day's legs. Then after that's back and buys, and then shoulders, and kind of created this workout routine for me that fit my schedule. Not only fit my schedule, but fit my fitness goals in general. Played around with some cardio, which I think I was doing not enough as probably most people are. And then so we kind of structured that. We went from a 6-4, a 6 rep, sorry, I'm losing words.
6 sets, and
6
then
sets, yeah.
we did about 5 reps.
5 reps, yeah. So we were looking more like strength training and pushing. Then we switched over to more kind of an endurance from that. So we kind of have built some muscle tone. Then we introduced what's the 8x8, the golden 8x8, which I'm still in love with. We made most of my workout 8x8, which we found was I was losing a lot of strength with doing 8x8. So then we implemented more of towards the end, we kind of went from all 8x8 to, we weren't doing all by 8x8. The first set was again a strength thing with 6 actual workouts, but 5 rep range. Then we're doing 8x8s afterwards. Then we switched from that to more of a, went from the, like still the strength training at the beginning, but then we kept it more into the 10 rep range rather than the 5. Then in the middle, we were doing more like 4x4. And then we went from 8, then we finished off with 8x8 as kind of like a finish circuit, which was really great. And yeah, and just the progress of definition and like muscle tone that you saw throughout, like put on like a good amount of strength. And then you kind of like, the middle part was kind of like chopping down the excess fat and like getting all that stuff out. And then towards the end, like because the 8x8 at the end, you're kind of cutting, but because we're going back to 4x4 in the middle, you're putting on more muscle mass. So
yeah. So for anybody watching that is like, what's all this terminology Iain is referring to? Because he's a pro by now.
Yeah.
He's basically talking about the different set and rep ranges. So, you know, like if anybody actually comes onto the program, they'll see that they're not just doing a workout where it's like 4 sets of 10 reps. They're not just doing hypertrophy. They're doing other variations, because certain variations of set and rep ranges, as well as like how long you're taking a break, is going to give you different results. Like certain set and rep ranges will get you a lot stronger, but won't necessarily build a lot of muscle. And other ones will trim down more fat without you actually having to be on a cardio machine for like 30 minutes. So a lot of what you were doing, Iain, was basically like taking out being on a treadmill for 30 minutes and incorporating it more into actually the lifting weights scenario.
For sure. And like during the most of the workouts, I only had about a 30-second, if not a minute, rest rep for rest time. So your
high
body
intensity.
The body was like going and going and going, but you're still getting explosive strength training out of it. You're still getting mobility, like good, like rep ranges were great. Like you felt it, which was the best part. And you finished off the workout. Like the other thing is like, you're not exhausted, but your body, like you've put your body through the ringer, and you could see it. Like it's just progressive throughout the weeks. Like I felt stronger and healthier every week that I went. And I mean, that's a combination of like good eating and workouts, but for the workout part of it, like doing those, like starting off with like more of like a strength, building into endurance, then kind of mixing the two, you just see how your body like explosively perform. Oh, and then deload weeks, that was amazing too. Like taking the deload weeks that you gave me, I think we did like 4 or 3 in total. It was 3.
Yeah, towards the end, I didn't really get you doing many, but yeah, the first few months.
The recovery on that was ridiculous, which helped as well. So
yeah, and that's another thing people don't realize. It's like people think they got to go so hard for like 4 months straight, for example, without taking any breaks. And it's like, I take a week off after 4 weeks of working out, and it does wonders. You go back to the gym, like the aching pains are gone. It's like you can start fresh again, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, you mentioned eating, so maybe just talk briefly on that as well. What was that like for you?
Honestly, probably one of the better nutrition programs I've kind of been on. Like I said, I've done a whole bunch by myself. I've done a couple other coach-esque like people who had like sent me what to make. But this program was completely different because not only did you show me a grocery list, you also show me like what I'm eating, pictures, how I should be cooking it, recipes for like, and then keeping that consistent schedule. Like the nutrition plan was easy to use, and it was like super good. I have 0 complaints about it. Like grocery list, I basically just sit down, like look at the list. What do I need? Go to the store, bang, 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 in and out, no BS. And the nice thing about it is like most of the time, I would say 80%, you could probably just buy in bulk. Like if you're a big Costco guy, get after it. Stick it in your freezer, freeze it, take it out when you need it. I was already a kind of a good, decent meal prep guy to begin with, but like this whole program and structure that really gave me more of like I'm prepping like my entire week in the span of like 2.5 hours, right? And then you don't have to worry about it. So you go into your fridge, it's like, okay, cool, I'm eating that. Okay, cool, I'm eating that. And that And like I told you and all the people who are going to see this, like if you're a big snacker, man, oh man, like it's so easy to kind of just be like, oh, okay, cool, I don't really have to eat. Like I'll just, snack on this or snack on that. You prep your meals, you have them like ready for in your fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you pick them out, you heat them up, bam, you've got good nutrition.
Right.
You know what you're eating. It's following it's following what you need to do to make yourself healthier, better, more efficient. And it allows you to like actually like if you take that 2-3 hours on a Sunday before your week to cook, you cook everything outright. Look how much time you've freed up during the week, man. Like you've got so much more time to be productive. Go for walks, like incorporate more exercise and functional, like overall functional fitness throughout your week instead of like going, oh shit, we have to go home for, half an hour, an hour early just so we can cook dinner when you already have it ready. And it's really beneficial if you're like like shift working like me. You kind of just, because we rely on sleep and we have these odd hours, if you have all that food prepped, you don't have to worry about it. It's like you can have that extra half an hour of sleep or have that extra 20 minutes to figure stuff out before you go to work, rather than be like, oh, now I also have to worry about food. Saves money as well. The amount of money I've saved like throughout the 4 months, because I've had a structure like what I need to buy, right? Where what you need to buy and you have it ready, and saves me on the money side as well. So
I mean, I completely agree with you on all those things, because like the way I look at it is people are generally spending more money going out to eat, ordering stuff, waiting for it to arrive. Like you go into a restaurant, you're spending like an hour in there, you're spending a lot of money. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like we were actually still implementing that for you. Like one day out of the week, you eat anything you want, don't track it. Who cares, right? But but if you're doing that, if you're doing that 3 times out of the week, it's like, hey, that hour could have been spent cooking like 6 meals or something, for example, right? Saving tons of money, and those 6 meals are going to get you the results that you want.
I mean, if you're a busy person to begin with, like I would consider like anybody who really does shift work is a pretty busy individual. Like
can't imagine.
Your 4 days off are like literally like your only days off. Like, and that's even if you don't do like overtime or have like pre-scheduled events or something. Like I've got 2 dogs, I've got all this stuff. Like I don't have time to be like, oh shoot, I have to go cook. Like I have to go cook. It's nice to kind of just open the fridge and be like, okay, cool, I've got meals for today, meals for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday I don't have to worry about meals because I'm just going to go to Wendy's and pound me back to
as you should. Nice.
But no, like the nutrition plan was super easy to follow, super easy to implement into your lifestyle, and like you made it really easy because you and I think a couple times kind of tweak things a little bit just to make things more to my liking, which is what like is the whole point. Like at the end of the day, I mean, I would say that you're here to make like you're assisting me with helping me get my goals and my things and
results.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, I loved it. It was great.
Cool, man. So got 2 more questions here and then I'll let you go. Tell people what some results were that you achieved, whether it was with weight or
I mean, when we had talked at the beginning, like I told you that I've always been pretty like I've always been pretty strong, but my problem's always been with like definition, especially around my midsection and like so my goal was to kind of cut and be like just more definition in places that I routinely, through me growing up and like throughout the years, I haven't seen a lot of definition in. Like I've always been broad, I've always had like big shoulders, big back, like everything like that, but like I'm talking like definition, like being able to like see stuff. So right away, like I already started seeing results in like the first couple of weeks, like in my chest, my arms, everything like that. I was getting like, comments from people at work, family members, like seeing like my definition when I was cutting. Now, like after the 4 months, like I got leg definition that I haven't seen in years since I was like playing like, pretty high end hockey. My midsection's down completely. Like I have like nothing left on my obliques here. Like I carried a lot of like extra baggage around my midsection, which I was always unhappy about. So all of that's pretty much gone. Like I haven't been this lean and this like defined in a long time.
Right.
If not ever. I don't think I've actually ever been this defined in my midsection specifically. Like I said, I've always been like I've always carried a lot of muscle in my upper chest, shoulders area, and my legs. But for my midsection, like I'm super happy. Like I've got like nothing left on my side. Like it's
so cool, man.
It's kind of surreal, like the amount of definition that I can see, and it's only been like 4 months, and I feel like if I push it another, like if I just keep going and keep being like, I know you've given me the foundation for what I need, and keep pushing forward with it, like I'll never have to worry about it again. It'll be gone.
Absolutely, man. And that's the thing, like a lot of people don't realize, like you could like we could have just even done one workout program, and then also like the meal plans vary because the calories have to go down. But the thing with fitness is that it's a repetitive game. You just got to enjoy the repeat process. So the more you embrace it, the more you continue repeating it. Within like a year, generally people start getting their best results because they've been just consistently at it and adjusting goals. And I think if anything, dude, like you're just getting started, and it's only going to get better if you just continue this whole process.
I'm like, when I started, I was, like I said, I was 218 when we started this program, and now I'm just about 200. Like I'm like 201, 202.
That's amazing, man.
Like I'm like ridiculously like more defined and more like physically healthy than I have been in a long time. So
yeah. So the next goal is 190. I think that was the elusive 190.
Overall goal, like, I mean, being at 200,
but that's a lot. Yeah,
being at 200 and having the definition that I have already, like I'm blown away by like I'm just happy with myself about the effort that I put in. So
yeah, and I think also you know, just on our past calls, you mentioned a few times like your friends and colleagues like reminding you that you're actually like, you're like, they're like, what are you doing? Like, what have you been up to? You know? And that's always nice to see, because it's like there's one part of it where it's like I'm seeing the results, you're seeing it in the mirror, but then there's another part where it's like a complete outsider has like no investment in your goal or whatever, is just like genuinely telling you, holy shit, you're doing an amazing job. And I think that everything comes together and it's like, wow, this is working. You know?
That's like a light bulb goes off. It's like, okay, dang, this is actually, and then that kind of stuff, like hearing it, it's just more motivation to get you back into that routine and keep you structured and keep you focused. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it's all fine and dandy to like see yourself and like, you know, people who are like family members and stuff, they're like, oh, you look good. It's like, whatever, you say that like every other couple of weeks. But like when people, like you said, like randos, like people go out of their way to make comments or be like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, you look like you're really fit or you're really like athletic. And I'm like, that's like, okay, bam, that's what we need. And that makes that next week even more energetic, even more like productive. So
I love it. So all these people telling you all these great things. Last question here. So what would you tell somebody that is sitting on the fence about joining this program with me?
I think if you're already sitting on the fence, if you already know that you want some kind of change, or, you know, like me, like you've got some history of some kind of structure, like, you know, it's all great. It's great to have, if that's where you're at and you're comfortable with it, then fine. But like, if you're anything like me and you always are kind of like driving or pushing yourself to be better than you already are, this program is exactly what you need, because it kind of fine tunes all the stuff that, you know, you may think that, you know, or that you've had some experience with. Like I had some experience with like meal prep. I had some experience with like proper nutrition. You know, I had she was just a nutrition coach, like I had told you before. But having both sides, like having just a nutrition coach is great, but you also need something to kind of hone all that good food you're putting in your body and like let your body use it and turn it into, you know, good athleticism, good muscle tone, whatever it is, whatever goal you're looking for. But if you're sitting on the fence and you have that mentality where you want to kind of keep pushing and get a more concrete kind of like functional way, this is the program to take, because like you take both sides. This program takes both sides of like working out and nutrition and explodes it in the middle. And then on top of that, you know, you're getting weekly follow-ups and like, how can we switch it? What do you notice that's working for you? What do you notice that's not working for you? Where are you seeing results? What can I do to make, like, you're asking all these questions that are exactly what you need when you combine the two, because they're two pretty big components of like overall health. Like you've got the nutrition, which is like, I would say easily 80%. And then gym, which is, you know, you're 20. That's, you basically, your nutrition's throwing all the fuel into the pot, closing the door. And then you've got to do all the other 20%. Like, you got to go put the effort in where the effort's required. But this program allows you to take both sides, get a little bit of a clearer picture on like how you can use both to, you know, if you're losing weight, or putting on mass, or, you know, wanting to work on your mobility or whatever. Like, you know, I think you as the coach, and like, I would recommend you to pretty much anybody that would be sitting there saying like, I wonder, like, you know, I want to lose 10 pounds, or even if it's a big goal, you want to lose 30 pounds, like regardless, getting on board with somebody who can help you structurally, like, get your shit together. Sorry if I can't think, but
no, it's great. Yeah.
I think that plays a huge role, because I think a lot of people do what I was doing, where like try and figure it out on your own and be like, oh, I'll take a bit of this and take a bit of that and maybe combine the two and see what happens. Like, it's great. It shows that ambition to want to be better. But if you can get on board with somebody who has the same mentality as you and like wants to see those results and can do all that, like not do it for you, but like basically just be like, here, I've given you the tools, like less to worry about, like not less to worry about, but like giving you the foundation to kind of accelerate that process. And I think that's exactly what you do. And I think you do a great job of it. I think every couple of weeks checking in and revamping the workout program like we did, checking in on me and seeing how I'm feeling with the program, what I'm liking about the nutrition program, what I'm liking to eat, what I want to see more of. I think all of that is just, it's exactly what you need in a program. And I can say for a fact that I don't think a lot of people do that. Like, coming from experience, coming from an end where I've had people like, oh, they just like, you know, they do your BMI, they okay, you want to cut weight, like they throw like, this is the amount of calories you should be eating, like figure it out. They're like, and then you pay them a certain amount of money, and it's like, okay, well, you've given me my calories and you've like told me what I should be eating, but like, what about like certain foods, or like, what am I supposed to do on the workout side of things? And I think you do a really good job of encompassing that in all like one big bubble. And I know for a fact that I'm blown away by my results, and I would recommend you to anybody who's sitting on the fence and wanted to get in. I would just say, like, come on in, like, just come talk to you. And I'm sure, as like I did when I talked to you, like, you'll be happy with like what your mindset is and how you want to approach it. And like me, you'll dive in, and 4 months later, you'll be happy as a clam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. Now, anybody listening, Iain, first of all, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate those words. Yeah. Like, guys, anybody listening, this isn't rehearsed. This is like Iain.
I came on genuine beforehand. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Do a video. All right, sweet. Like,
yeah, no, this is great. And here's the thing, like, you know, you touched on it. Like, you were going through a period where you're trying to figure this all out on your own, and it's like, guys, like, or girls even, like, if you're on the fence and you're just like, you know, I don't want to do this, and then you try to go figure it out yourself, like, you are wasting time. Like, you want to, the reason why there's mentors and there's coaches is that they've already spent like 5, 10, 15, 20 years figuring this all out on their own. And if you have to pay them a certain amount of money and you got to invest 16 weeks in order to, you know, be in their frame and like learn from them, that's going to save you so much time. So like, this stuff that I provide Iain with, all this content, and he still has access to it, it's like, he maybe wouldn't have figured it out for another year or two. Who knows? And it's like, by that time, like, there's other shit going on. You get older and older. Nobody's getting younger here. Like, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, like, let's start getting this shit. And even if you're older, it doesn't matter. I have clients in their 60s as well. It's all good. Don't waste time. Don't figure it out on your own. Just come on the program and I'll help you out.
And just to add to that, like, that comment specifically, like, I'm 30 now, and I was like, when I would turn like 20, 21, that's where I really started like getting into like making myself better, fitness, nutrition, like everything like that. 10 years of going like between back and forth. I went from being like 215 down to 195, up, lost a whole bunch of muscle tone, like got a nutritionist, thought just following nutrition was good, had no, like, didn't really have any structure with workouts, lost a whole like mass of like muscle, like strength. Came back, like put on some bad weight because I like started following a bodybuilder, and like that was a whole completely different mess of like putting on mass,
the
like
dirty bulk,
like dirty, like walking around like a sausage, like but like, just if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, like, just put the foot down and just do it. Like, I can speak from experience. Like 4 months ago, I was feeling like kind of like lost and like a little like foggy. Now I've got clarity. I know what I need to eat. I know what I should be eating. My workout programs, like, even if I wanted to like cut more or bulk up, like, I have a structure of like what I need to put on or like what I need to do. You just need to do it. And trust me, like, you work with this guy, like Puyan, like Coach Puyan, my coach, you'll be blown away. The results show for themselves. And I can speak from experience. Like, I would use this guy, hands over hands. Like, I'll use him years from now if I have to. But
that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Honestly, let's end on that note, man. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to continue our chat, but thank you for everything, man. It's been awesome working with you.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal.